welcome back to the second part of the tutorial. So this part will mostly talk about the shader of the brush. So let's do it. First, make sure you already have a shader for the brush. Before we jump into the shader, there's two attributes we will like to make in the geometry node. One is the UV for each individual stroke, and one is the random index to give individual stroke have different color. To do that, first we make the UV, and it's very easy. Use combine X, Y, Z. And we just take the vector with the length of the curve with X. We don't need Z. And we pass that to the output. Go here and we name this to my UV. And outside we also name it to my UV. And this is the UV, so we can frame it and name it UV. And then we need to make an index. So we just take the capture attribute and set it to integer, because index is a integer number. So we put in the group and we put it here and set this to spline random value and plug the attribute from the index that we captured to the ID. So it gives the random number individual index. So when it output, it gives every index a different number, random index, and we just pass to the output and we name it random index. You can copy that too. So now we can just basically we can jump into the shader. So first we take the attribute out to check that we have it. So this is for my UV, and this will be random index, and we can just check is that what we want. Vector math to multiply and just check. Put aside, we will not to use right now, and check this random index. Yeah, it got some random. In this case, we might have want to make more stroke so that we can see it better. We can put the float curve here and make an adjustment. Because from what I test, I think tweak a little bit will be better to get the result that we are looking for. Because I think like this will works better. So we just put this aside for right now. We don't need to use that. It just will be useful later. And first, what we really want is the line that go along with the brush, like the hair brush through the color. So we take a wave texture and plug that in, and with this UV attribute we separate the XYZ, and we take the Y to the vector of the texture. So now you see there's like a brush. Set it like 10 and the detail scale to be 1 and the other to be 0, and just start to make a little adjustment to be the way you think it looks fine. I think that looks fine for now, and we use bump node, and we set the color to high and plug that into the normal. You can see the result, and we can turn down the strength to be like lower 0.5 or something, depending on how strong you want. And we can make the reflection, the roughness to low, and you can see from the side it's not just a color, it actually behaves like a bump, so it will reflect the environment from different angles, so it looks like kind of realistic. To make things even looks more realistic, you can take a value from the X, you pop into the color ramp and give this to the strength, and then you treat this value to be something like what I do, and you can get like a smooth transition from the brush. Now maybe it's time that we talk about the color. I'm sorry because I have lost some of the recording, and now I quickly show you all the final result of the shader. So we use a noise texture and plug the hue saturation value to high, so this way the color looks more vibrant. And we set the value something around this. The scale has to be like quite low, and then we plug the random index to the W, and in between we use a multiply to scale up the random value to drive the W. So each stroke of the paint will have a like very different index to display the color. And you might see all the color are different, and you can use this multiply to adjust the color. And another place that you can adjust the color is go down to the geometry node, and you just turn the random seed And what else I do is about the vector. It's this place, okay, like this tree maybe. So first you use multiply and plug that in another multiply, and you copy this to here because we need another line texture displays the color, so the color will be, you can see it different, like it will follow the line. Yeah, and you just multiply these two, multiply the UV. And the value of the UV, it depends on, yeah, you can turn it to somewhere that you think is okay. And I multiply it and plug into the vector. And here, because now we have two set of line texture, and we can multiply them, we can mix them, use mix RGB to mix them, and we both put them in the height of the bump, so we have a very thick line and also have some very fine line. So you can see these two, you can see the difference between these two. Maybe let me find some reflection area. Yeah, right here. So from here, you can see this is the thick line that push the color, and here is the thin line that only for the bump, and we mix that a little bit somewhere between here. That looks fine. Yep. And so this will be the final shader result. And you can play around with this. You can use not multiply, but another way to mix this value to see what's the different result. It will look, sometimes it looks very interesting. Maybe you think it looks even better than multiply. Yeah, like this also looks kind of interesting. Yeah, thank you. This is the tutorial for today. Bye bye.